Hi, this is Dr. Bowen. I've had a few questions in my ISCI 785 class ask about the best way to prepare for our final exam. We've had a very quick semester and a whole lot of readings, so let me just give you my ideas on how I would prepare for that exam. First, I would take your textbook and I would look through each chapter for whatever you have highlighted or made notes about. You can see I'm a pretty heavy highlighter when I read, but I oftentimes try to make a sticky note or a note in the margin about something I want to return to later, or put a star by it or other symbols. So I hope you have been doing that using your active reading skills to help you just remember what's in each chapter of our text. Also, I would go through the PowerPoints that are on Blackboard. There's a PowerPoint for every chapter in the book that does pull out most of your main terminology and some of the important examples, but mainly it's a terminology document. It gives you a lot of the concepts, legal rulings, ethical frameworks that we're using over the course of the semester. And for each PowerPoint, I tried to pull out the things that were most important in every chapter. That doesn't mean there could be something that's left out by accident or that isn't represented in some way, examples in particular, but it's just to refresh your memory about the reading. You can do that side by side with your textbook or with your notes. And I hope that the PowerPoints are going to be a really good study tool for you because it's a 10-chapter text with a whole lot of terminology. The next thing, there's a glossary in this text, and it starts on, I believe it's page 243. So it's a few pages of glossary definitions about cybersecurity and ethics. I think that would be important to review that glossary just to make sure that you know what all of the terminology is. There are a whole lot of acronyms in this field, and we're not going to worry so much about the acronyms, but knowing the main terms and concepts, especially those related to ethics. And if you find you need more definitions and deeper understanding, the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy online is a free peer-reviewed resource that is incredibly helpful for studying ethical terminology or learning about the philosophers mentioned in our textbook. It goes a lot more in detail about these people and the theories and frameworks. So I think that's always a very helpful resource. Now, we also had some readings on Blackboard. I think the most important of those are from the ethical framework of the practical model of deontology that shows you a flowchart step by step how to employ the three forms of Kant's categorical imperative. We also have a study sheet about those three forms. I would make sure you know what each of the three forms is about. You don't have to memorize the exact wording, but it helps to know what that form is testing. Form 1, universal duty. Form 2, the form of humanity or dignity and respect. And Form 3, intention or the good moral will. Also knowing how to work that through the practical model is very important. And then our readings on leadership from Goldman and others that talk about what makes a good leader. Greenleaf, we also talk about servant leadership. What makes a good organization, a good communication flow in the leadership sense? How can you be both a good follower and a good leader? What are some of the things that good leaders do? They listen a lot. They do research. They use critical thinking. They use empirical, rational decision making rather than capricious-based, experience-based decisions. They try to understand an issue from all sides. They use critical thinking. They communicate effectively. They motivate and serve others in the sense that they're not trying to be authoritarian. They are usually trying to be a team builder and someone who builds motivation, coordination, participatory management, and is a leader in the sense of a servant leader, meaning facilitating success throughout the organization. And so we have many supplementary readings. You're not required to know those for the exam. Things like our competitive advantage reading and some of our later readings from this week, Elon Musk's brain implant reading about a unit with 1,000 channels, as well as Bostrom's transhumanism, Those are to get the ideas of what transhumanism is all about. I don't want you to necessarily have studied each of those entire readings, but those are looking forward to what's going toward the future in cybersecurity, ethics, and leadership. And so the films are also something that can be testable. We've had a number of films that we have watched in this course, from Equilibrium all the way to Transcendence. The characters' names and things like that are not what we would be testing. I would be looking for a general understanding of the leadership takeaways and the ethical problems represented in each film. So what was the problem in Equilibrium? A lack of moral autonomy, a lack of individual critical thought and decision-making ability brought on a terrorist state. I hope you get prepared from. It's going to be 50 questions. So I do tend to tweak and change these every semester, and so your exam might not be exactly the same as an exam from another semester, although this is the first semester of cybersecurity, ethics, and leadership being taught. But if you're watching this in the future, please realize that the format can change a little bit, but the basic course material of learning the deontological categorical imperative, the ethical decision-making frameworks that we use from virtue and utilitarian ethics, and as combining with deontology, as well as cybersecurity principles and leadership, those things remain pretty much the same as our general course material. I hope this helps you get ready for the final exam. Please don't stress it. Just have done your readings, be prepared, and let me know if you have any questions. Good luck, not that you'll need it, and I appreciate your time to watch. Bye-bye.